I think we should be a couple of weeks away from CM Punk losing his World Heavyweight Championship, even though he really hasn't defended since he did win it a couple of months ago. But after watching the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, that's just how I feel in my Tootsie Toes. And given what the day is today and given what the next couple of days are going to be, I just want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, my friends. Thank you so much for supporting me over the last 12 months. It still blows my brain that I do get to do this. But of course, I have no platform, I have no nothing without you guys watching, liking, supporting, and of course, coming to my wrestling matches as well. I've been very blessed to have this bizarre merging of the two, and it's because people keep watching, and it's because people keep coming to the matches. Please keep it up in 2026. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do with my life. But you are awesome. I actually am flying around the place the next few days, but content will still be going up. But bear with me as best as you can. But more importantly, let's talk about Raw and a potential new champion. Because mostly I just think the WWE should kick 2026 off with a bang, and yes, the best way to do that would be to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion, and I get it. CM Punk right now, you can argue, is probably on fire more than he ever has been for a while. The promo he cut last week, I really enjoyed the tag team match he did last night. Obviously, Bron Breakker speared him again, so at the moment it's Bron Breakker that's leveling himself up. I just think Bron Breakker, ever since he has been put in this position when he speared Seth Rollins 8 weeks ago, has really taken the bull and ridden it into town, whatever that means. There were a few weeks where he did nothing, but as soon as he got the pin in the War Games match, the promo he cut last night, which was like a proper video, old school taped one, but I still thought he did a good job there. I just think he's onto something, but you can argue that CM Punk has done the same thing. That's why this feud has all of a sudden sprung into life, and why I can't wait for that 5th of January title match, because I think both guys have gone, we need to make this feel important. Again, Punk hasn't really defended that belt a lot, so, in order to make sure it means something, you've got to make sure the feud around it is important, and they're just hitting home runs all over the place. Now, we do have one more Raw before we get to that first show of 2026, or is it 2? I think it's just 1. My brain is getting confused. So given that Bron Breakker was up at the end of this show, I kind of think that CM Punk will be on the up on the end of next show, which usually means if we go into wrestling tropes, Bron Breakker will win. Now, when it's the heel doing that, it doesn't usually go that way. And also WWE can do whatever the flub they want. What I'm most worried about is there not being a finish at all and there being some kind of no contest. I will take CM Punk or Bron Breakker winning because there's a distraction or something. I think WWE does that too much, but I want to see a 1, 2, 3, because the story coming out of this should either be, well, what does Bron Breakker do now? How the hell is he going to earn himself another opportunity to become the world champion? And I would presume maybe win the Royal Rumble and re-challenge CM Punk. Or if CM Punk loses, he just longs to the young pup. Like, is he too old in the tooth? That's not the phrase, you know what I'm talking about. But you can play the veteran card. What does he do now in order to sort of keep that top spot that he worked so hard to get? I just think it could be so interesting. Whereas if it's the Vision run-in and Austin Theory, which we very well could do, because of course Austin Theory featured heavily on this show and essentially in the Vision, I do not know. But at the same time, I'll get to that in just 1 second as I cut myself off, because if you are a Vision fan, I would not trust this Austin Theory. Before that, though, I want to talk about what Gunther did, right? Because Gunther comes to the ring, essentially cuts the same promo as he did last week, but that's totally fine. But it was CM Punk that interrupted him. So I was like, well, they're not going to eyeball each other unless WWE does have plans. And Gunther especially can be like, okay, fine, I lost at SummerSlam to CM Punk, but where is my World Heavyweight rematch? He never got one. So does Punk lose on that Raw to Bron Breakker and then had a feud with Gunther? But if you do that, Gunther absolutely has to win. Then afterwards, Gunther goes to the back and he runs into AJ Styles and they fall out again. So we're going to do that match too. But Gunther can't lose either of those matches. If you want to compare him retiring John Cena to the Brock Lesnar Undertaker thing, as everybody continues to do, Brock Lesnar one-on-one for like 2 years and eventually lost to Goldberg. But of course, that was in order to win the belt back and make some money for WrestleMania 33. And it was executed in such a way, actually didn't take away the power that Brock had. But if Gunther has his next match against Punk and Gunther loses, or he does it against AJ Styles, you are threatening to pop the bubble. So I really hope the WWE doesn't do that. I think it would be a mistake. But we have now set him up against a couple of people. I think you can do something with the Alpha Academy too, as I slow down. But they did have a falling out last week, of course. So if you want Gunther to get a couple of wins, but it's not the point now. Any big name that WWE has that they want to put in a match with the Ring General, Gunther has to win. So maybe that kind of ties into what we could do with Bron Breakker. Maybe we're going to go pure WrestleMania 40 here. The Vision get involved, then Gunther gets involved, and that allows CM Punk to spin off. Although then you can argue who the hell would a Bron Breakker feud with? If CM Punk has to go take care of Gunther, this is proper fantasy booking, by the way, I don't think it's going to happen, then Bron Breakker would need an opponent as well. I don't even know who that would be. Who's even ready? That's an interesting question as well. Could Roman Reigns come back early? And you do that at the Royal Rumble. I very much doubt it. I think Roman will probably be in the Rumble itself. But even if CM Punk does hold on to that title, who does he take on at the Rumble? So it's a good thing, I think, to keep you guessing. So WWE has done a good job there. I just kind of feel like Austin Theory is going to get involved. And I don't know if I like it. Although, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm obviously going to wait and see right now because you can't judge something on just 1 week. I'm not entirely sure what we're doing with Mr. Theory. Now, the big caveat to that is that it could turn out that Theory is actually working for Seth Rollins. Like, he's doing the stomp, the cargo pants that he started to wear. They kind of had a similar design that stuff Seth has worn in the past. That, of course, could be a red herring, and we could be getting involved here. But given that Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed spent this whole show being like, we don't trust him, it was Paul Heyman that went, we'll wait and see what happens here. I don't think you would do, well, you could do that. It could just be a way to start off the narrative. But usually what WWE likes to do is, you plant the seed of tease, then all of a sudden the bad guys go, okay, we will accept you in. And then, of course, as and when the time comes, Austin Theory could go babyface and join Seth Rollins, which would make sense because the way the Vision turned on Seth, when Seth comes back, he needs to feud with both Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. So he needs a tag partner. It shouldn't be a CM Punk. I hate it when two babyfaces get together just because the enemy is staring them down, especially Punk and Rollins because they hate each other. And there are other people that Seth could do it. The point is he has to come back as a good guy. And I think that's way more interesting. And then, of course, Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker, and Logan Paul can continue to build whatever the flub they want to do. But Austin Theory on the other side can get the tutelage of Seth, which actually also happened during the pandemic era. I think that's quite a nice split if it does go that way. And also, I just think Austin Theory should be a babyface. I just do. Like, what he did tonight was fine. It was all like, I hid my face because I've had a bad career and I wanted to prove to you what I was able to do so you would accept me. It didn't feel like a massive departure from what Austin Theory had done before. At least he wasn't looking for a golden egg, so that was a massive improvement. I just think we should try him on the other side of the fence. Although, if WWE is playing the long game here, and he is going to be a babyface come WrestleMania, wherever Seth Rollins is good to go again, then I would be down for that. So I do think it's something we have to, the terrible term, the worst term in all of wrestling, we have to wait and see. But I do think we need to wait and see. And either way, WWE did give him a win over Rey Mysterio. Now, very sadly, everybody reads Rey Mysterio these days, which is offensive in many ways because Rey Mysterio could be the best wrestler of all time. There's such a strong argument for it. And we also went out of our way to make it clear that Rey did have the match won, but Bronson Reed pulled him out of the ring before he got the 1-2-3. I don't necessarily know if we needed to do that. Like, we're trying to get Austin Theory over. I think we just try and get him over. But whatever, nobody will remember that. They'll just remember that Rey went to the top, Austin Theory stomped him, gives him the stomp, which again is a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, potentially 1-2-3. That's when Punk and Bron Breakker get into it, and Bron Breakker leaves CM Punk lying with the spear. I mean, maybe you have to do something with Austin Theory and Punk? I don't know. What does Austin Theory do? Because Seth is not going to be back for a good few months, so I guess he just goes into the Vision. I would watch his movements closely. I thought he was okay on this show. I think I've got a bugbear, for lack of a better term. I just think he should be a babyface. I think I made my mind up about this a year or so ago, and now I'm being stubborn, and I refuse to change. Also, I'd like to know what Grayson Waller thinks about all this. I do not think we can go back to that feud. I saw somebody saying earlier, I can't wait till we get to that feud, mate. It's like, it's not going to happen, so I wouldn't worry about it. But there is a lot here to like in the sense that it's intriguing, and Gunther is almost the outlier to all of that. How does he fit in? Who does he go after? What's his first feud? Surely he should be going after the World Championships. What does Punk do? Etc., etc. But I am into it. I do like it, and I like the tag match especially. I just thought it was a very simple but effective tag team match, which sometimes all you need to do. The crowd were into it. Obviously, CM Punk is mega over as a babyface. Everybody loves Rey. Bronson Reed's had a terrific year, and this was Austin Theory's match, so of course we shone a spotlight onto him. And Paul Heyman continues to sort of be the guy that makes you go, I don't really know what's going on here. But it worked. But I still think that Bron Breakker should walk away with the championship in a couple of weeks. Why not do it, man? If it's a mistake, you can always put it back on Punk. I just think the WWE should start off the year with a bang, especially because some people, and there's an argument to this, think that 2025 was saved, for lack of a better term, because of John Cena. And even then, a lot of people didn't enjoy the way that Cena was booked, but because of his star power, WWE got away with it. So in 2026, what do they have? Because at the end of 2024, we knew we had Cena, and then by the end of 2024, it's quite clear the bloodline explosion was done. So they need something for 2026. That doesn't mean pulling swerves or pulling triggers for the sake of it, but I think Bron Breakker is in a position position where you could elevate him right to the tippity top, because we do need a brand new star that feels young and hungry. It doesn't matter if he holds the belt for a week, 2 weeks. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but as long as you come up with a good way to get it back off him that makes all the sense in the world, I don't think people will mind, especially because people love CM Punk. The point is this: we've set the deck quite well. We've set the table quite well. I'm excited to see what we'll do on 2026. Next week's episode could be a bust, not in a bad way, but they're all pre-taped shows. So this show was like 90 minutes long. It was wonderful. It's like watching Raw from 1997 or whatever, which we should go back to. Different question for a different day. Although I will say SmackDown going back to 3 hours, and now Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and potentially Obafemi being free agents, whack them all on SmackDown. Man, that is going to make such a difference to that show. And if you're giving me a 60 extra minutes, but I know it's filled with those 3, I'm going to be perfectly happy with it. Javon also beat Rayo Americano here, also known as El Grande Americano 2. So that's 2 massive wins for Javon, and they were talking about his free agency, so fingers crossed. And I guess the other big match you could probably argue was Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Now, I thought WWE should have held this off for 2026 and done a proper old program, but it was still awesome to watch. Very weird that Rhea told Io, "You're hurt, Io. You can't come out with me to the match." So she's a babyface. You can't keep her back there. Then Io Sky came out anyway, got totally murked. And Asuka used that distraction to get the 1, 2, 3. No problem with that, because it's all circulating around the women's tag team belts. And of course, who the hell is it? Lash Legend and Nia Jax are involved in this too. And there's so many other tag teams that could jump in. It's just so nice these belts get featured. I will say there was way too many distractions, interference, and confusions on this Raw. It was almost poetic that we ended 2025 going back to you're going to do it and you're going to do it. You could even argue the main event had it, although at least it was people that were legally involved. But you just don't think you need somebody running out in every single match. We're going to get to that Bayley versus Roxanne Perez thing in a minute. That's the one that should have had all the distractions because it was telling a specific story. I mean, even with the Javon match, Javon could have just beaten Pete Dunne. Let's just be honest, that's who it was. You could have the El Grandes on the outside, but I don't think they need to get involved all the time. Well, the ref can at least usher them away and say, no, you're not doing this. But Rhea losing is not the end of the world. Some people were super down about this. I do actually think she has cooled off over the last few months, really when she broke her nose. But I think it's okay, because I think we've established the tag team with Io. I think when we get to Io and Rhea taking on the Kabuki Warriors, it'd be so good nobody will care. And she's still a massive star. She still gets huge pops. Eventually, she will be back into the singles division, and it could probably use it at the moment because the Women's World Championship stuff, I wouldn't say it's off. It's a little bit weird. Because Stephanie McCare was on this show for all of 4 seconds. And she was like, "Hello, Adam Pearce, can I face Raquel? And can I face Nikki Bella?" And he said, "Yes, you can do that." Then Nikki Bella came out later, cut one of my favourite promos of the year, genuinely. It was like we'd gone back to 1987. Insulted all the sports teams, was wearing black, called herself a legend, say, "Stephanie, you're great in the ring, but I'm great everywhere, and I'm going to beat you for that title because I'm a superstar." Very entertaining. I like this Nikki Bella. Not everything has to be, that's the best thing I've ever saw in my life. It just has to be fun. And I think she's led into being an over-the-top movie villain, or a pantomime villain, if you're aware of what that is in the United Kingdom. Most fun, genuinely. And the Raquel Rodriguez stuff, let me try and get this right. So it's Bayley versus Roxanne. Lyra and Liv are already out there when Raquel, for no reason whatsoever, decides to join. And then the Judgment Day distract each other. Which kind of goes to show that we were way too overblown with that. Who was it? Bayley then gets thrown into the exposed T of the turnbuckle because of Roxanne. She gets the pin. The referee is dealing with her own teammates, so she doesn't see the fact she got like a 92 count. Then Lyra goes to take out the rest of the Judgment Day, where Bayley hits an elbow and she gets the 1, 2, 3. Massive. I said there's on ups and downs. What culture? Check it out. Subscribe to both of us. Huge improvement. The elbow over the rose plant. She'll now, of course, do the rose plant next week and I'll look like an idiot. I just think it's one of those moves. 50% of the time good. 50% of the time, well, it doesn't really feel like a finisher. And Lyra also slapped Bayley to get her into a crazy Bayley mode. Not really sure we use those vignettes we were doing a few months ago to really sell this idea that Bayley can be, well, one of many people, I suppose. It feels like it's been watered down a bit, but I do like Bayley and Lyra together. I think they're fun. Bayley getting a win is massive. And what I really liked about this, of course, Liv Morgan did this on purpose. We don't know that yet. But she is pulling the strings in order to make the Judgment Day break up. And that could happen soon because they fell out backstage. And Raquel said, "You know what? I got my title match next week. I'm going to focus on that instead." And I'm sure Liv Morgan will get involved. I just don't really know what we do with Bayley and Lyra. Like, Lyra's about to lose her opportunity to go back for the Intercontinental title. Talk about that in just 1 second as well. Don't know what Bayley is doing. Are they going back into the tag division? They could do. The Judgment Day feel like they're about to spin off into their own thing. So it's interesting. But again, Bayley won, so that's good. And this was a good shenanigan match, which is why I would have saved the shenanigans for this match. But WWE can't help themselves. Yes, Becky Lynch finally returned to Raw, very unexpected. I think she's brilliant. I'll give you a spoiler. My best rest of the year goes up this week. She's in it. People are going to get mad. I don't care. There's 3 that people are going to get really mad at, but I don't rate wrestlers in the same way that most people do, and it makes the list more fun. Anyway, but she comes out, says that Maxine Dupree cheated her out of the title. She was going to call in her lawyers, but she changed her mind. Maxine came out, dropped the best line, like, yeah, you used to be one of the best ever, but now you're somebody whose best days were behind them. I was like, Maxine, that means you beat a second-rate version of Becky Lynch. Don't say that. The point is, they're going to have the title match even 1 week or 2 weeks. I can't remember. Kind of weird that Maxine Dupree just offered out this title shot. It kind of felt like Becky should have won one match. Now listen, Maxine Dupree was really good here. I thought this is the most confident she's ever been on the microphone. Massive plus. I think Becky Lynch had a wonderful 2025. Her best heel character by a country mile. What happened? Like, she has that one match with Ivy Nile, does Maxine. And during that backstage walk, she also fell out with Raquel. She also fell out with Roxanne Perez. That all of a sudden seems to have gone to the wayside. And now after one defense, I presume she's going to lose to Becky Lynch in a couple of weeks, because here, even though Becky Lynch attacked her, she ended up in the ankle lock, and Becky tapped out to let you know, oh my gosh, Maxine Dupree has got me again. I just don't see the point of doing a 4th match unless Becky's going to win, because you then run the risk of elongating this and going too far. But if Maxine then loses, I have a weird feeling Natalya may get involved. I don't know what that means, but of course she was training Maxine, and the rumor has been that she is going to come back with this sort of Natty, not Natalya character. What do they call her in WWE? They call her Natty Neidhart. So she's going to come back as the one on the outside that goes to Bloodsport, the more aggressive version. Just call her Bob or something. Make it way easier. I mean, it would be a bit of a stretch, but you could say that because Maxine would have to lose first. I don't know. It's just a random prediction, right? I don't know how it happens. I just kind of think that WWE is going to want to protect Maxine Dupree. I don't think you want her to lose cleanly. I'm fine with it going back to Becky Lynch, but yes, Lara Valkyria's rule was she could only go after the IC title again when Becky Lynch isn't the champion, and she just didn't bother, right? She's just too obsessed with Bayley. It's not the end of the world, but those are the things I feel, especially in 2024 and 2023, the WWE was so good at kind of scooping up, oh, we did this then, so we should do it now. Everything made sense, and it made Kevin Owens happy, as we know, the only rest of the watchers of the show. I do like all the Becky Lynch and Maxine stuff, because mostly it's taken Maxine. And even if she does lose, I think as long as you keep her in the right environment, she's going to have a great 2026. Not as big as a Bron Breakker, who I think is totally going to break out, ironically, but I think you can really establish her as a solid part of the women's division, especially around this mid-card Intercontinental title region. And she's only going to get better and still, because quite clearly she cares. Also, she has sympathy, and you want to see her do well, which is all that you need from a babyface. So it was good, and the promos back and forth was the most important thing. Also getting AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Usos next couple of weeks. Hilarious. The Usos got a tag title shot that fast. AJ Styles has to lose these pretty soon, because he keeps getting into it with Gunther. Do you give it to the Usos? I don't know. It depends if you want to turn Jey Uso heel, which has been the tease. So we have to wait and see. I think that was everything. I don't think anything else went down, apart from an awesome backstage Bron Breakker promo, which I think we've already talked about, or a video promo, I should say. I like this episode of Raw. There wasn't anything sort of super bad about it. I do think that Stephanie McCare needs to be featured more. I think the women's title needs to come out in 2026 with more specific feuds. At the moment, it does kind of feel like everything's been thrown together. But I enjoyed myself. And yes, I'm not going to lie, a huge reason for this was it was 90 minutes, so it started and then it was over, but you also have this overarching storyline of Punk and Gunther and Austin Theory, and there is no point in having people on your roster. People's always had so many opportunities. Give him another opportunity. Give him 422 more opportunities. Who the flub cares, man? If you think he's got something in his boots, you may as well give him a go. And I do like him. Once again, I just think he should be a goofy babyface, not in a bad way. It's much like Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa should just be an entertaining dude. He can be a heel, but he's naturally really funny. And I think Austin Theory, and again, I mean this is a positive, I would describe myself as a goof. I think he's a natural goof. So make him a natural goof. Doesn't mean he can't be a badass in the ring. It's like Kurt Angle, right? Kurt Angle was the biggest idiot outside the ring, but he was so good in the ring, he could get away with it. So I think we can lean into that a bit more. But a good episode of Raw. And I'm very, very excited. And this is the most important thing, because it is the world title, which WWE is shining the biggest spotlight on the CM Punk, Gunther. We'll throw him in there as well. Bron Breakker stuff. And I want to see that match. Again, promos are there. They are designed to make you excited about the big title fight that's coming down in a couple of weeks. CM Punk has done his job. Bron Breakker will do his job. I think WWE will probably hit a massive home run next week. And what a cool thing to start the year with, right? 2026, big title match. And you can't really lose here. Am I going to be mad that CM Punk retains? No. And am I going to be super excited if Bron Breakker wins? Yes. So it's all going to be good. It's all about stories. People can lose as long as you do know what you can do with them next week. We wait and see. Now, of course, you may think completely differently about this, so please drop me a comment below and let me know what you thought about last night's Raw and all of this. Who's going to win that world title match? Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is me ranking every single one of John Cena's matches throughout 2025 from worst to best. See if you agree with me. You probably don't. Otherwise, it is patreon.com/Simon316 for my watch-alongs. Thank you, everyone, supporting me there. Grillermind.com/Simon. Simon get 10% off. They're doing Christmas sales. They ship worldwide. The best supplements you can buy. Simon316 on social media. Give me a follow. TikTok for dumb wrestling videos. One will be up there later. My backstage promos, they're silly. I like them. TikTok, already done that. What we're talking about. Cameo for holiday cameos. Got like 10 to do today, which is wonderful. Come add to my list and Pro Wrestling Tees if you would like one of my stupid tops for Christmas. As we have got here, enjoy your week. I hope it's totally wonderful and you see family and you cry joy from your eyes. Whatever that means. Thank you once again. You lovely people. See you soon.